Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, we are looking at another game of Mikhail Tal which he played against Thomas Paehtz. In this game, Mikhail Tal's opponent tried to be oversmart in front of him, but that cost him very badly. Mikhail Tal was playing as a white, so he started the game with e4, c5, knight to f3, knight to c6, d4, open Sicilian. C captures on d4, knight captures on d4 and g6, opening this diagonal to fianchetto his bishop. So now c4, bishop to g7, attacking this knight on d4, so bishop to e3 defends it. Knight to f6 attacks this e4 pawn, so knight to c3 defends it. And now black in this position played knight to g4. It's not a sacrifice, but it's a simple trade. If Mikhail Tal plays queen captures on g4, but now black can play knight captures on d4. Accepting this trade is a good idea for Mikhail Tal. Let's say if he didn't accept it, on the next move black will play knight captures on e3, and after trading this dark square bishop, the black dark square bishop on g7 will become very powerful. So that's why in this position Mikhail Tal played queen captures on g4, knight captures on d4, and now queen to d1, again attacking this knight. e5 defend the knight. And now knight to b5, again attacking this knight. But in this position black castled his king. And now if Mikhail Tal played knight captures on d4, then after pawn captures on d4, bishop captures on d4, bishop captures on d4, and now queen captures on d4, and Mikhail Tal is winning the pawn. But is this a good idea or not? Well, Mikhail Tal did not accept the pawn and he played queen to d2, but let's see what happens if he captures the pawn. Let's say Mikhail Tal play knight captures on d4, and after e captures on d4, bishop captures on d4, black in this position can play queen to a5 check, and now it's almost forced for white to play bishop to c3, but now bishop captures on c3, b captures on c3, and after queen captures on c3, it's almost forced for Mikhail Tal to play king to e2, and that's not an ideal position for Mikhail Tal's king. That's why in this position Mikhail Tal did not play knight captures on d4. He played queen to d2, and after that black played queen to e7. It's a good move because after knight captures on d4 and e captures on d4, now black can play queen captures on e4. Then Mikhail Tal played bishop to e2, preparing the short castling, and now b6, knight captures on d4, e captures on d4, bishop captures on d4, and now black played queen captures on e4. Well, here the fun begins after Mikhail Tal played bishop captures on g7. Till this position this game is equal and open for every result, but after bishop captures on g7, black tried to play some tactic which he clearly miscalculated, and that mistake cost him full game. Black played queen captures on g2. Well, he was thinking that he is threatening Mikhail Tal rook, so Mikhail Tal would play rook to f1, and after that he can play king captures on g7. But I always say, if you think you know Mikhail Tal, then you are wrong. Mikhail Tal did not save his rook, he sacrificed it by playing queen to d4. Well, the best move in this position was queen to h6, and on the next move Mikhail Tal can play bishop to f6, and now the queen to g7 checkmate is unstoppable. But still queen to d4 is not a bad move. Well, black accepts the rook and he played queen captures on h1 check, and Mikhail Tal again shocked him with king to d2, sacrificing his another rook. But black did not accept it and he played queen to h2. But let's see what happened if he had captured this rook. Let's say he played queen captures on a1, but now queen to f6, bishop to b7, and now bishop to h6, and now the checkmate on g7 is unstoppable. So to stop this checkmate, black has to give up on his queen with queen captures on b2 check, and after queen captures on b2, now black can play f6 to stop this checkmate. But because of this strong material advantage, this position is totally winning for Mikhail Tal. That's why to stop this bishop to h6, black played queen captures on h2. So now Mikhail Tal played bishop captures on f8, king captures on f8, and now bishop to f3. And now black saved his rook with the d5 move. Let's see what happens if he straight away play rook to b8. Well, now Mikhail Tal can play rook to e1, threatening the checkmate on queen to h8. And to stop this checkmate, black can play queen to h6 check, but now king to d3. And now to stop this checkmate, it's forced for black to play king to g8. And now after rook to e8 check, it's forced goes to play queen to f8, and after rook captures on f8 check, king captures on f8. Again, this is strong material advantage for Mikhail Tal, and this is clearly winning for him. That's why d5 is the best move in this position, because now if Mikhail Tal play rook to e1, now black can play bishop to e6 to stop this checkmate threat. Well, now bishop captures on d5, rook to b8, rook to e1, and now bishop to e6. And for the last time, Mikhail Tal again shocked everyone by playing rook captures on e6, a brilliant exchange sacrifice, and at this position black resigned. But if the game may have continued, black can play queen to h6, but now king to c2, king to g8, and now rook to e7 attacks the f7 pawn. So it's forced for black to play queen to f8, but now rook captures on f7. Again, it's forced for black to capture with the queen. Queen captures on f7, bishop captures on f7, king captures on f7, and after queen to f4 check, this is totally winning for Mikhail Tal. So that's why queen to h6 is not a good idea for black to play. Let's say if he play f captures on e6, but now queen to f6 check, and now checkmate is unstoppable. There are only two squares for the black king. Let's say if he goes to g8, but now bishop captures on e6 is a checkmate, and let's say if he goes to this e8 square, but now bishop to c6 is a checkmate. That's why in this position black resigned. So I hope you like this brilliant game of Mikhail Tal, and if you like it, please like this video, subscribe to this channel to get more amazing and inspiring content.